Today I'm going to show you how I stabilize the wood that I sell and also use for my knife handles. The first thing I want to do is tell you the items that you're going to need. The first item you need is a vacuum pump. The second item you're going to need is a vacuum chamber. The third item is a toaster oven. And the fourth item that you need is resin, whether it be cactus juice, which I use, or some other brand. The optional items you can get are a pressure pot, containers to separate colors within your vacuum chamber, and a PID temperature controller, because toaster ovens are notoriously inaccurate. So if you're not going to use a PID, you're going to want to get a thermometer just to make sure that you're hitting the right temperatures. Things you don't want to do are use wood hardener that you'll go get at Home Depot or whatever. You don't want to try to vacuum by the canning method, by putting them in a glass jar and then boiling them and putting the lid on and all that stuff. It just doesn't work. You're going to come out with a really bad product. Now what I want it to do is tell you the steps. So the steps are, you're going to dry your wood to make sure it's completely dry. You're going to put it in a vacuum chamber and run a vacuum for most likely about 24 hours. Is what most punky wood takes. You're going to put it in the pressure pot, which I will do that and leave it overnight. Then you're going to want to put it back in the vacuum until there's no bubbles again. Sometimes it doesn't take too long to get to that point. Sometimes it does. Then you're going to soak. And the general rule of thumb is you soak for twice as long as what you vacuum. And I normally do a lot longer than twice as long. I'll do 1 to 2 weeks, just depending on the wood that I'm doing. And then you're going to want to cure. And this is where the toaster oven comes into play. And this step right here, the pressure pot, I'll explain later why I think that is optional. I don't think it's 100% necessary. But if you don't use a pressure pot, I would still soak at this step and then do the second vacuum. I've found that after you soak for a few days and you put it back in the vacuum, you're going to get more bubbles. And that again depends on the wood that you're stabilizing. So I'm the type of person that if I can make it, I'm not going to buy it. I'm glad not everybody's like me, because I do sell quite a bit of this stuff. The first step in the process is arguably the most important. It's drying the wood. When you get this stuff, you're usually at 10% moisture or less. If it's above 10, then it definitely just needs to air dry more. So you can get this tool at Home Depot or Lowe's or pretty much any of the big box stores. This reads the moisture in your wood. Basically just stick it right here on the side. And if it's, I believe the lowest it goes is 5%. So if it's under 5%, it's not going to have a reading. So there we go on this one, 8%. Way too much moisture in that. So this redwood burl is actually pretty dry. But the goal is to get it to 0%. If you have any moisture in this, it's not going to stabilize as well as it could. The first thing you want to do is get this wood that you're going to stabilize down to as close to 0% moisture as you can possibly get. To do that, you can use a toaster oven, or in my case, I have an electric smoker. It's just, you can hold more in there. And then what you'll want to do is you'll want to set your temperature above boiling, which is 212 degrees. but that number actually reduces as you get higher in elevation. So where I'm at, the boiling point is 206 degrees, but I'll still set my oven at about 215 degrees, 220, really just depends. You just don't want to make it so hot that you're going to char your wood, or even worse, start your wood on fire. My first step of the process is weighing out some of these blocks. I have a bunch of the redwood burl, so I'm going to weigh just one of these, maybe two of them, and then write the weight on the piece of wood, so 80.3 grams. And then I'll do this to a couple. 79.69. And then I'm going to grab some random pieces of the other type of wood. 141.5. Okay, after you've done that to a few pieces of wood that you're going to be drying, we'll take these to the electric smoker or the oven, whatever you have to dry with. Once this is up to temperature, you just want to start loading your wood in here. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to put this in here. I just leave a gap between each piece of wood. Doesn't have to be a very big gap. I just feel like it will do a little better with the drying. On each rack, I'll put one of the blocks that I wrote a weight on. That way I can check it. It'll be right in the front, and I can check the weight. So we'll come back after 24 hours and I'll show you the next process. We are roughly 24 hours later, still at 215 degrees. What we need to do is remove the blocks that we wrote the weight on and then see how much weight they've lost. We're at 122.66. So we've lost 16.1 grams off of that one. 68.5. So we've lost a little less than 6 grams off of that one. And this redwood burl is already pretty dry anyway. Now that we've done this, we're going to put these back in the oven. And then we're going to go back every hour or two and weigh these again. And when we get to the point where there's no weight reduction, that means these are at or close to 0% moisture. It's been about 2 hours and the weight hasn't changed, so it's safe to say that these blocks are very close to 0% moisture. The next thing we need to do is the blocks have to cool. If we pull them out of the oven and leave them in open air, they're just gonna pull moisture back into them. So what I do, there's two options. I've seen people actually put the wood inside of their vacuum and then kick the vacuum on, make it so there's no air in there to take on while they cool, but they take a very long time to cool in there. Or you can just put them in plastic bags. I use these gallon bags, and I will put about 6 in here, and then I will put this bag in another bag, and if I want to be extra safe, I'll put that bag in another bag. That way there's no moisture that's going to go back into the wood while they're drying. When I put the wood in, I'll close it up until there's a little gap right here, and then I'll just put my mouth on this and suck all the air out of it, or as much air as I can get, and then I'll do that for each bag. There's bag one. And that's in 2 bags. And then there's 3 bags. While we're waiting for the blocks to cool down, I'm going to show you my setup. So first, I use the JB Eliminator pumps. I have 2 just because I like having an extra for when I have to clean one out, disassemble it, fix something, whatever. Then I have a backup if I need it. And I have one of these pump savers from Turntex. I'm not as worried about the cactus juice going back into the pump as much as I'm worried about a pump accidentally shutting off, like power loss or something like that, and shooting oil back into my cactus juice, because that basically just ruins all the cactus juice. Then I have 2 vacuum chambers up here. I run both chambers off of one pump. I believe you can run 4 or 5 chambers off of one pump. Then I have this little manifold up here just in case I need to access one chamber and leave the other one under vacuum. It's pretty handy. These are all the different containers I use for the blocks. Each of these I can fit at least 6 blocks in, and 2 of these per vacuum chamber. So if I'm running both chambers, I can get 12 to 30 blocks, just depending on the size of the blocks, the width, all that. My one vacuum chamber, my Baco Engineering, I guess it's called, it's deeper, so I can do taller blocks. And my glass vac isn't quite as deep, so I can only do, I believe 6 inches is the tallest I'll go. Once I get the blocks inside, I've made these little weights. These are actually made of rebar. I just took 3 strips of rebar lengthwise and then 3 on the top and just welded them. Basically, I'll just set this on top and it holds them down. I use cactus juice. I know there's other brands out there, but cactus juice is what I'm used to. We're gonna do black and clear. I've actually got no idea how the redwood burl takes color, so I'm just doing some test pieces for now. And we've got some nice spalted pieces that I want in the clear. And then some curly that we'll put in the black. And if it doesn't go all the way to the top, you just add some from another container. This is also black, it's just an older bit of it. These will absorb the resin on their own before being put into the vacuum. So I like to let them sit here for a little while. until, like this one, you can see the level has gone below. So I'll fill this one up and then I'll watch them for a little bit, keep filling them up, and then put them in the vacuum. Ready to put these into the vacuum chambers.